Hello, welcome to Today at Embr, the final episode of the year. Pretty exciting, episode 12. For those that you're watching live, you can always catch us at twitch.tv/join Embr. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. We have everything working, rolling away, full steam. I am your host, Robb Vallozzi, head of communications, and I'm joined with my co-host, of course, Jason Dominique, head of strategy. Jason, how you doing today, buddy?
Hey Rob, as usual, doing fantastic. Last episode of the year. What a what a crazy journey it's been so far.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're at episode 12, final stretch. It's the last episode of the year. I actually was supposed to be taking off, but since it's, kind of a big milestone for us, I'd figure I'd be here and join Jason and wish you guys, really a fantastic year coming up in 2022.
Yeah, I think yeah, we initially thought maybe we were gonna do one in between Christmas and New Year's Eve, but we came to the conclusion that it was a pretty hectic year, and everybody needed some time off. And obviously, everyone's going to notice that the socials are going to be a little bit more quiet than usual, which is to be expected. But yeah, I'm taking some well-deserved time off. Rob as well, everyone, and yeah, looking forward to kicking off next year on the 6th of January,
Yeah,
which is going to be the first show of 2022.
yeah, it's gonna be great. And for this show too, we got some stuff that's been planned for you guys that we think you'll really enjoy. We want to take a look back on the journey that's taken for us to get here. We'll talk about the vision we developed, some choices we're making. We also have some announcements that are happening today with the actual product line as well. Talking about some staking, which will be available to you guys who still have. When the vault opens and be released, there's some very generous staking opportunities out there we'll be talking about. And then we're going to be talking about a little bit in depth about what we have in store for 2022 when it comes to, not only the vision of itself of launching that, what the roadmap will look like, but also, what's in store for the show. But first, though, I really want to talk about, Jason, looking back about we were involved in the legacy project and when this was coming together of how difficult it was and the discussions we've had about developing a vision of really what could be new in this crypto space and what we wanted to bring to the broader market.
Yeah, I think ultimately this is the biggest task of any entrepreneur that wants to launch something new. A lot of people go about it sometimes backwards. They start working on what is the biggest opportunity, or and where they see themselves working on, and all those sorts of things. But ultimately, when you start something, no matter what it is in terms of business related, you got to work from the problem, where the problem is. And what's really exciting about our situation is the vision actually came from our own experience.
Mm-hmm.
And, when working together as a team on a previous project, we truly experienced these fundamental issues in the DeFi space, specifically around the current state of in terms of its maturity, the space. And you know this opportunity and the problems that we faced, us as a team, was definitely something that echoed into other entrepreneurs trying to launch something. This is not something that it's not an isolated case. And
Mm-hmm.
we know for a fact that uh, based on multiple different data points, but also based on what we see currently happening, is that the space is at a very nascent time in its life cycle. which means that right now, what is happening the most is, we're essentially in the ideation and launch phases of pretty much every single idea that is out there. And
Mhm.
the level of friction that goes on both sides, from the when you think about the people that are trying to discover and support these ideas and projects, it's extremely difficult to find them, and then also to um, to feel confident in what you find, because every single day in the space we see these unfortunate, people that get caught up in those projects that unfortunately aren't as legit as they were initially, expected to be. And on the other side, if you think about, our team, uh, when we came together and we tried to put something forward, all the steps,
Tons of
it's
roadblocks.
huge amount. I mean, we have this internal sort of um, thing where we say every time it's difficult, we say that crypto has a premium. Every time
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
you want to do something, it's
You
either
gotta pay
more
a premium,
expensive, it's either
or it
more
takes you longer to
expensive
do.
or it takes you longer. So there's always a premium associated with crypto. And this is where we thought we could, with the years of experience that we had in the regular startup space, we said, there couldn't be a better time to streamline the launch of a project. All the tools that you need to essentially launch and raise capital in the DeFi space. But also, while you're at it, why don't you make it easy to discover those projects? So that's
Mhm.
why we came up with this idea of an ecosystem, and which essentially is a two-sided marketplace, where on one end you have the individuals seeking, wanting to discover what is the latest, and greatest. And on the other side, you have all these budding entrepreneurs that are really hungry to take advantage of this crypto wave that pretty much every single media in the world are covering and saying, what, crypto is going to be the next big wave, and this is the time right now. So a lot of people are going in this space without, real, I mean, as much as you can be an entrepreneur, you have no skill set to understand how it works in the space, and how you launch things, how you raise capital. It's all different. We're used to
Mhm.
doing it in the startup world. I mean, it's well ingrained, it's all well oiled, and it's like you can do it in no time.
There's a
But
playbook to follow. But yeah, but with us within
exactly.
crypto, it's not. I mean, there's no school. There's nothing that, like, I have an MBA. This was not even, this was, 15 years ago before I graduated. But I mean, this was not even on the radars of entrepreneurs back then. It's just all happening in real time, and us having to adapt and come together and come up with these new and innovative ideas on how to tackle problems that are normally very easy to overcome.
Yeah. So that's why, coming together and having this one mission, one vision, was truly important. Before, I mean, everything trickles down from this, from marketing strategy to, your products, to it's the one guiding light. It's this lighthouse that you always keep sight on. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was truly important, and I think, and I truly believe that the one that we came up with, which is, we've reimagined how you discover, invest, and communicate in the cryptosphere, um, will go a long way, because it fits in the time now, but also I think it can survive for quite some time, because this is just the beginning. So
Yeah, this is
it'll guide us
definitely
for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a sustainable business model and a sustainable project. And just that, I mean, and this year I think was one of the craziest years for cryptocurrency because the level of it became fever pitch. Right from the beginning, we had a crazy bull run. Then we had some, really turbulent times with everything from Elon Musk to China to the whole meme coin, phase and all this stuff talked about with, Wall Street bets and the average
And then
investor, the
we
stuff that happened with
then we
Robinhood,
and then we entered JPEG Summer, which was like
yeah,
crazy NFTs, just
NFT
like
time. I mean,
mental.
and
Oh
then and
my
then there was a
God.
big crash. But then at the end of the year, now as we look back, I mean, how bad things were between May and June, and that's when the NFT boom started happening. But if you look at what the market cap for the majority of these tokens, Bitcoin, Ethereum, um, they've been able to show a level of sustainability through they're not through a year of volatility, which it goes to show that from here on that this is going to be in the mainstream, that this space is here to stay. And I think that we with our project is coming up with something that's the right time and right place. And I really, I get made fun of for all these little anecdotes that I come up with. But success is when preparation meets opportunity, and we really are have the opportunity here to do something that's been very successful. And one of those things too is our next point, which I don't want to spend too much time on, but when it comes to leadership and being able to make hard choices and being nimble, and we saw at a time and a place when the space was at its lowest, and we had to make some hard choices, and we believe now, and especially people can see that came aboard, that was the betterment for our investors and for the company as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, I say it while exhaling, but it's yeah. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we what is it called? Summit fever.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to be careful, because even though you seem to be sometimes very close to where you want to, where you want to end or where you want to go, um, it's you always need to come back to reality and think to yourself, even though we could push extremely hard, is this still, you know is this the conditions, I want to continue pushing, or
Mm-hmm.
do I want to set myself up for success, but in a way that that will give not only us as the promoters in our team, and our community, but also the project in itself, to make sure that it has um, the most chance of being extremely successful, that won't have any limitations. And yeah, hard choices for sure. And there's going to be hundreds more, but I
Mm-hmm.
think, as you're mentioning, as we're a tight group of the core team, and the leadership is, it's something that we're faced quite often, considering the speed at which it moves. Sometimes it feels that we're making incredible decisions on a dime, very often,
Mm-hmm.
and it's becoming more of a habit to make those decisions. And
Yeah, and to work at that speed and pace. And I think that really has, kind of molded this team into a sort of work culture that is now we're able to be so nimble and move so quickly and make changes fast and be able to make these decisions because we have the confidence now behind us. We have, there's the wind in our sails at this point to know that these things are coming together as planned, as we envisioned. And that goes to show that the leadership moving forward, and what's going to happen moving forward with the team as a whole. And I think what
yeah,
was great too is the community was able to see that. And by migrating a community over and fostering that community stuff we've done with the community success team, I think personally, Jason, the stuff that you've implemented really sets a standard in how to really foster and to basically water to watch it grow to nurture a community.
Yeah, and well, thanks for that. But ultimately, I think at the end of the day, there's a delicate balance that you need to find in between knowing what's best for this project and also listening to the people, and listening to your teammates, listening to your community. And this balance sometimes comes again, going back to making hard choices, it comes back to this premium, that we have to pay. But also, as usual, we have, our team meetings on Wednesday. And one of the few things that I was saying is, I think that the broader community at large are starting to understand and to have faith in the decisions that we make. And they understand that timing is everything. And also, if every time we give a go on something, we go hard. We don't half ass anything. We've been mentioning this, multiple times. When we do something as well, we do it world class. So yeah, it's all about instilling also some sort of company culture where we're willing to take risks, but at the right time. And so yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it was successful bringing that along, and then seeing us going from the vision we've had to making hard choices to migrating the community over, and then that rewards us because that brings us to reflecting back, and this seems like forever ago, but it really was only last month was when we launched the project. We launched using our own launch pad. With our own vault contract and that new vesting schedule for those that were fortunate enough to get in on a public or private pre-sale. You'll see that so next vesting schedule coming through, how well that went. And I don't just mean success in the money raised. I mean success as in how stress-free it was for the investor to interact with
Yeah,
us.
because it wasn't stress free for us.
For
I
us.
was like,
No,
where is this guy going?
How stress-free it was for the end user experience.
Yeah,
For them to be able to interact with it. Not on our end. On our end, it was
because
some words I can't say on there.
yeah, because I remember that Thursday. Trust me, it was Thursday episode whatever of today at Ember. But it the day before ended extremely late. I was traveling to the British Virgin Island. I was only there for 3 days. I knew it was a critical week. It was absolute mental. Like
Yeah.
the whole week was absolute mental. And
Yeah,
just
we make it look easy. It's like when you watch like an Olympic diver and the person who's on the who's in the stadium, like, oh man, it makes it look so easy. I can easily do that.
yeah.
That's what it felt like, but no.
you see him go like this.
Yeah. Flip over and fall,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Flat on the back.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, we're that Olympic diver because for everyone else it seems so easy, and like all people that I had friends or family that was investors or just talking to the community, they were I mean, and it's unfortunate too because the bar is set so low when it comes to interacting. To buying things on an IDO Launchpad, when it comes to interacting on the Binance Smart Chain or a lot of smart chains in general, the bar set so low that when it's easy for them, they're blown away. I mean, we're hoping to set this standard up so in 10 years from now that it'll just become common, just like it is to my 15-year-old niece as it is to order on Amazon.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been saying it multiple times. A lot of people were like, how do we buy, and we're like, what's this question? How weird of a question is this? Like, do you go into Amazon and just hustle the people at Amazon, like, tell me how to buy? It's like, dude, man, you just put things in your cart and you just pay.
You just pay.
Exactly. How complicated should it be?
So yeah,
So yeah, when we open up the actual the pre-sales, and I think obviously that shows how successful the pre-sales were, but um, yeah, the I mean, again, this is just the first crack at it. We're obviously going to get better at it, but um, yeah, it's meant to be easy. It's not meant to be complicated. There should be like, remember back in the day as well, where everything you used to buy, you used to have like an instruction manual. Now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where's the instruction manual? Nothing has an instruction manual anymore. Why? Because everything needs to be so easy and obvious. As soon as it's not, people are like, well, what is this? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, why is it so complicated? I don't want this, you know? So yeah, I think if and that was again the premise, of that's the user story that we put across. We didn't think that launching this token, we were like, okay, so our target user is this crypto head, and he's been like spending years on Pancake Swap, and he knows his way around. No, that's not our user story. Our user story is someone that is early dabber, like tipping his toes into crypto and doesn't fully understand, all those steps, and potentially even further than that, because right now, we're trying to be more mass audience. But we tried to say, why is this button there? Is this important? Is this relevant? Like, does this make sense? These options, do we need those? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so we basically left no rock unturned. And again, this is just the first crack at it, but we feel that we elevated the game. Ultimately, we did. Can't can't deny it, and I think we need to be proud of the things that we've delivered and celebrate these successes. And that was definitely one of the big one this year, doing those pre-sales. um and
And we did that also too, even without our implementation that was right after that was our buy button that's now on the website to make it even easier to buy. And we've,
yeah,
how far we've evolved just in those couple of weeks from the time we did the launch, which is, we'll talk about a little more how it's going to relate to 2022. But even like you said, it was us, we're going to be continually getting better. The experience has already gotten better, and that's even before our partnership with Wire and being able to use a credit card and the wallet, and those things are coming, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But just to see us how we've evolved in less than a month, even.
yeah. And it shows as well, to go back to what you just said, the buy button. Well, we're calling it still the buy button, but
It's
anyway.
gonna be called.
um
It's gonna be an actual product name, guys. Don't worry.
but it just shows how fast we learn, in the sense that we looked back just a few days after, when we went to secondary market, and we said, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because we just went into it with the same mentality as any other token launch, and we said, what? That doesn't make any sense. Is there a way around this? Is there a way to actually keep users, or investors on our website? And after some heavy consideration and some analysis, we figured out a way to develop this product, which we believe, again, going into 2022. But we believe this is just going to be massive, because you know looking at the target market for this product, with so many projects that are that we can actually physically see, um, that are out there, that have huge amounts of volumes on a daily basis. And you go on their website and you're like, where's the button? Where is all this traffic happening? It's not
Mm-hmm.
happening from their website. And then you
Mm-hmm.
scroll down a little bit and you have this line that says token address with like
It's hieroglyphics.
hieroglyphics. And then from there, you basically need to make your way to wherever you want to go, which is to buy this digital asset. and that's just like really, it's like you would see like a t-shirt, and they'd give you the barcode number, like you to take this number to the tilt. Like really, no.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So so yeah, again, looking at raising the bar in terms of user experience, and facilitating growth, and expanding the market for token promoters, which is ourselves. Um,
And
so
not just
yeah,
for token promoters, but also too when it comes to NFT projects, when it comes to digital assets. And NFTs is more than just JPEG Summer. I mean, the possibilities there are endless, especially when it comes to for like musicians, in that space, and how they can be able to monetize their work. When it comes to even certain technologies, certain with that discussion, and I don't want to divulge too much internal secrets, but when it comes to even certain technologies can be minted as an NFT, and they'll have be able to license and to be able to use,
everything,
and everything be able
everything
to have this
is
extra content.
it's a digital deed, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you own this digital thing? Well, this is it. It's it's the non-fungible part of this token that's on the blockchain, and it
Mm-hmm.
can be for anything, like a season's pass to go see the Habs, a hockey game, from like anything will become anything that doesn't need to be or is digital, uh, will eventually become uh, a utility NFT for sure.
No,
There's
absolutely.
absolutely no doubt about it, because it's transferable. It's on chain. Um, yeah, for all the reasons
Well,
that you know.
I think also too that's why people they kind of gasped, including myself, until I kind of looked into it. Of in the beginning of this year, which brought on the NFT craze, is when Beeple, his NFT sold, I think, for was it 16 or 32 million dollars or something like
I
that.
think it's 69.
So yeah, yeah, some ridiculous amount of money. And when it comes to the art world, which I've actually had some experience in this when I was working with someone who was it was an art broker, and sometimes it's more than just about the piece. It's more about its statement in time and what it really means to that era, and what the statement that it's making. And I think one of the buyers was mentioning about how, well, the reason it was more than just, and the art also was significant of the whole crypto. That's what his whole style is all about, coming about the blockchain, is really about how these NFTs now are going to be everywhere, involving everything. And this piece of art has that much value because this is the significant point in time where historians can point back to and say, this is when the transition happened. And I know there's a great article too, and I think that we've been excited about. We're showing how, when it comes to the best startups that people are going to be excited about in 2022, are startups like ourselves, ones that involve using innovative ways in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is what I mentioned earlier. This is the beginning, and it's a pretty fascinating opportunity for anyone that wants to create something in the space. And going back to the vision, what we want to do is facilitate these people, facilitate the road to launching your own project. And ultimately, if we make it 10% better, the output would be will be so much greater in terms of quantity. And and we feel that this space deserves to have the I mean, I shared an article with the team a few days ago or last week, that was stating that pretty much every single senior person in the Silicon Valley that have been involved in the startup space for the last like decade, all the talent, the senior talent, and even the young ones, of course, but the ones that were well established, that had like these massive compensation plan, they're all ditching that to go, and they're all into crypto. They're basically saying, you know what, this is the time right now. and I can take my experience and join a team or start a new project and basically take advantage of this once in a lifetime opportunity. This is a generational shift that's happening right now in terms of technology and all those sorts of things. And once you start understanding the basic, of why it's so important, that shift, it's hard to look back at the traditional ways. Um, and yes, it's not mainstream right now, but if you look at the level of of trading that are bigger than some countries, that are bigger than some economies, on certain blockchains, you're like, this has to be something. It's
Mm-hmm.
so big that it's not going back anywhere. And yeah, so this for me as an entrepreneur, uh and I keep telling my friends and my girlfriend and my family, and I'm like, I've never felt so alive. This is so exciting. This is
Mm-hmm.
so fun. There's this learning every single day, facing challenges every single day, having to adapt. This is what I live for. This is
I,
exciting.
I,
And I live
I,
this on repeat every day compared to before, where this cycle I used to like it, but that cycle used to be on a weekly basis or a monthly
yeah.
basis. Now I live it 3 times a day. It's like in my face all the time. Ref, light, red.
I mean,
Whoa.
looking at our roadmap too, and the stuff that's happening. And I hope I have no family members listening to this podcast, but they probably are. Um, I'm actually kind of annoyed with the holidays. I'm like, because it puts not just us at a halt, but it puts the entire business community at a halt. And everyone's like, oh, we're going to implement this, after the first year. I'm like, oh, man, let's get this going, man. This is so exciting,
Let's
and this
get it
stuff
out
has to
now.
happen. Yeah, let's get it out now. And who needs family and holidays? Let's make this happen. They'll appreciate this much later in a year from now.
Yeah.
We can skip a Christmas.
Yeah, we could, but ultimately, this is also a big topic, in the startup space, and obviously will become something quite relevant in the blockchain crypto space, which is mental health. Which
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, we need to take a step back. We're
Mm-hmm.
working so hard, and just a few minutes ago, like probably like an hour ago, James went to sleep, and it's 3:30 a.m. Because
Mm-hmm.
he's wrapping
He's got a
up, the
family
last little.
expecting as well too. So
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
got a family, and a lot of us, we're not that young, so we all have kids and things like that, and we're managing double jobs, and so we have to take a breather because
mm-hmm.
it's just unhealthy. So
Especially
um
at the speed that we move too. I mean, because it's not like a normal 9 to 5 where you're looking for a large organization, but also to just the speed of everything we're doing so quickly. I mean, it feels. I mean, as an example, I mean, we've only been live a month, and it feels like forever, And then somehow it takes doesn't time like it feels like time's moving slowly. I mean, we're already episode 12 here with the show, so all of these things happening simultaneously. It's important to take time for yourself, and that's a
yeah.
culture that we want to make sure that all of our people in our organization have. And
Yeah, absolutely. So
looking,
it's well deserved. So I'm
yeah,
I'm happy, and I'm telling people, do take some time, and not only just for Christmas, even before. It's not like all work,
no,
no
yeah,
play throughout the year, and yeah, it's definitely something that that we put in
we
the
keep as a part
forefront.
of our culture. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
And I mean, coming up all the way till looking back in the past, it's as reflecting on all of our successes. It's good to look forward to the future, but also something that we have. Another today is when we're launching staking, and that's going to be available. I see some questions too. We're going to be taking from some of the community that we're getting, and I'll get to those in a moment. But this probably addresses some of them. Is we're more than just the delivering of these our actual what is our business model, but we also want to make sure that the tokenomics have utility as well. And one of those pillars of that is staking. And I know you guys talked about this last episode. But did you guys make any announcements? I'm not sure if the rest of the community on what the specifics are, when that's launching, and the APY, and how beneficial that would be for the community.
Yeah, well, I mean, so as some of you, if you listened last week's show, Eli and I, went through some high level and also some micro elements of the staking. We released some key data points on certain lengths of staking,
And
what
for
people can
those that missed
expect.
the show, you guys can catch that obviously, whether that's Apple, what's on Apple Podcasts, that's on Spotify. That's episode 11. I definitely suggest you guys to check that out if you want to get into more of those specifics.
Yeah, so I think the great news that, for whoever's actually listening right now, I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet, but there's a new link in our header of our website. It's been there for well, not for days, but it's been there for at least a good
It's
hour or two.
right since we started
Uh,
this podcast.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's live. So we released three staking schedules, which are available. If you want to stake them right now, you can go. We have so this is sort of our first throw at it. Obviously, we're gonna
Have
do
some more
some
complexity.
qualitative.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're going to do some qualitative surveys with the community, what people are interested in, and these type of things. But we decided to release three schedules: 1 week at 15% APY. We have another which is a month, essentially 4 weeks at 16% APY, and we have the diamond hand one, which is the 52 weeks at 47 APY. And yeah, so we're again remembering that Embr is not about staking. This is not like this is something that we're releasing as a one-off. There's a finite amount of reward token that have been allocated. This is to ease and to stabilize the market, and yeah, and to have a progressive release in regards to the circulating supply. And once it's gone, it's gone. So we're releasing, this regular staking after Christmas. We're going to be looking at LP, adding liquidity. So you'll have these LP tokens available. We just wanted to refine some stuff in that regards, but we knew a lot of you wanted to test it before Christmas. So this is our gift to you. It's available today, as as promised. And whoever will have some, the people that joined us in our pre-sale, tomorrow is the release of
The
of
second release schedule.
yeah, exactly. So this will give you an opportunity to, instead of just holding, put them to work and have, you can try the 1 week. You'll see, this is not fake. It works. You'll essentially get some rewards. And if you feel confident, go for the 4 weeks. And I mean, ultimately, if you came in early, is because you believe in the project. And we feel that instead of just holding, put those tokens to work. So
and
yeah.
and we made sure too with our tokenomics, and I think that was really attractive, is how much of a percentage of the tokenomics was going to liquidity for this, because we wanted to attract this little staking gift that we're giving right now to the to the people that have been in the project early, something to test out, which we think is going to be beneficial for everyone, but to really attract these people that have a lot of capital, that really look for projects that come to liquidity pool farming. But we think that tokenomics is going to be a driving force in 2022 to not only prevent volatility, but it'll attract a heck of a lot of liquidity to the project, and we think that that will really bring our market cap. Is something that we think is going to be a compelling investment.
Yeah. Well, as you're saying, 2022 will be the introduction of the LP tokens staking. So yeah, for sure, that's where the biggest APY is. I think it's 104, if I'm not mistaken,
104%, yeah.
something like that. And so
I think they're on those numbers.
yeah, and again, this, we've heard some people say, well, this is not, 80,000, like on this
Yeah,
other sort of
2,000% APY or something.
like, come on, man, give us a break. You put like $100 in your local bank. How much are you gonna get? Maybe two.
Yeah, not even.
If you're lucky.
My bank doesn't give anything in a savings account. You have to put in a CD and lock it in for 36 months, and then you get like 2%. I mean,
you don't even know if like what the world's going to be like in 3 years.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. You don't even know if banks would still exist in 3 years.
Exactly.
Like, sure, yeah. And at the rate of inflation, literally, like you look at gas doubled. You look at grocery, everything's like skyrocketing, and you're gonna do what? Like give your money to the bank for like 3%? Like seriously?
Not even 3%. It's ridiculous. So
when we're releasing like 50 and 15 and 40, like this is pretty good.
Yeah,
like, this is really good. And
I mean, especially 100%. I mean, that's insane amounts. Especially too is that our, and if you look at it too, especially when it comes to our tokenomics, with the actual price of the token and everything, is that right now is the perfect time. And this is not financial advice. I'm just talking about is that if you're looking for someone that when you're looking for a place to stake your tokens, you want to make sure that it's at a market cap that you can, you don't have a lot of risk of having a large fall. Because if you're locking something up and you can't control it, there's some other projects out there that have crazy market caps that change by hundreds of millions of dollars every day, because it's just wild out there. And they offer some sort of staking stuff there. I know Shiba has one called Bone or something like that. You have no idea what the price of these things are going to be. The staking might give you 2,000%, but if the token takes a dive, while that's happening,
especially on a speculative asset, which has, I mean, they're trying to build utility around it, but at the end of the day, they're meme coins. And so obviously DeFi 2.0 right now is very early. It's, all these, I mean, you've heard of them, all these staking time and all those sorts of things. And it's at your own risk, obviously. I mean, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. And ultimately we feel that, Embr is a no-brainer. It's not a big risk, but it has a high reward. And this
and our APY reflects that too. That's why we believe, that based on the risk versus reward factor, that these percentages make sense, that we're offering an APY at this kind of investment.
Yeah, for sure. So go for it. Try it. See how you go. I mean, our community success team is out there. We have a full set of articles in our knowledge center. So we're here to, make sure that you understand what you're doing, that you understand what's it for and what's in it for you and what's in it for the community and how it's going to help, Embr as a whole. But yeah, the whole team has been trained on it. And they're available to answer your questions. But make sure to head to the Knowledge Center. Yeah, if you want to learn.
The Knowledge Center and Intercom too, as well, is that this is something that no one else has these things, and not to mention this was not something that was just a fluke. With us putting it up because we wanted to build it up for the launch of the token, but we want to have this as really a key part of our business that people can rely on when it comes to when they come to Embr.org.
Yeah, Embr is human first. It's not like your DEX where you go and it's like it says there is no customer support and don't expect anyone to answer if you have any issues. Like what the hell is this? Like Is that what I can
Literally,
expect like in 2022? Like, whoa.
that's not hyperbole either. That literally is verbatim
Yeah.
what they say on the website. Like
Yeah.
they're putting that out there. Like, don't even ask. If you lost your money, we can't help you, bro. Sorry. We told
It's
you.
it's it's gone forever.
You're gone forever. We're not sure where it went. Good luck. That's pretty
Um,
funny. And it's pretty
yeah.
easy. I think it's the same for those that are unfamiliar with staking. The one that can go on intercom too, but the interface that you were able to use when it came to with buying Embr, when it comes to the original with the IDO, it's going to seem very familiar to you and easy to use. It just launched, so there'll be iterations and changes happening. I'm sure if when it comes, if there's any bugs involved, of course we're stress testing it. But you can be rest assured that we did all of our due diligence on the back end to make sure it's as secure as possible. Security is very important to us as always, and that you'll see that level of user experience that you expect to see, like we did with the launch of our products.
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, James went to bed quite late/early. So
Those Aussies in the
we could,
crazy time zone.
yeah, I mean, we could have kept on, making it nicer, work more on the UI and the copy and all those sorts of things. But we test it internally, it works, and we felt, what, we're just going to push it out. It's not perfect in terms of the UI and the UX, and this is what we're going to keep on working on. So yeah, if you have any feedback or anything like that, just make sure you let anyone in our team know. You're sort of our early adopters, so we appreciate every feedback we get. Um, so yeah, it's out there. Have a crack at it.
Yeah, you'll definitely see new iterations coming onto it. It's pretty much a great segue for, what we're going to be doing in 2022. We don't want to give up, too much information because we have some really, fantastic surprises in store for when we actually launch and show our complete roadmap to the public. And we want to do that there in the beginning of the year. We also have some great announcements about some changes we're having internally, which is going to be great. We'll talk about that next year as well, and how that'll be the betterment of the company. We're also having a lot of expansion internally when it comes to growing the organization. Also, you can always reach any of us if you want to be a part of the team. If you think you have something to offer right now, anything involved in more of the development side is what we're looking for. I think we have everything when it comes to the public front end kind of stored away. Make sure you reach out to us. Jason, do you want to give any hints though to some stuff we have coming up? I know some people are excited about our widget that we're doing that's going to be happening sometime in the first quarter, probably end of January. Anything else that you want to add for the broader vision for 2022?
Yeah, I mean, we just went through sort of our for your eyes only type of roadmap yesterday internally, and one thing that I can say is that uh, and if you haven't connected the dots yet, everything's going to live under embr.org, obviously, and yeah, the goal is to create. I mean, it's in our vision, it's in our mission. We're all about creating a gateway to the decentralized world. So this is the approach for your end user when it comes to the marketplace. So the B2C side, business to consumer, and the whole sort of business to business side of things, is that we want to deliver a suite of tools that entrepreneurs, creative makers will need um, when they want to launch their token. So this is essentially what we'll be delivering next year, and the stakes are high. The timing is now, and yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into it because we can't wait to introduce this roadmap formally, but just know that it all fits organically well together. We're just in the final steps of figuring out what's the best sequence for it all, scoping every single pillars of those big chunks that we want to work on, and then when we'll feel confident that it makes sense, that it all fits well together. There's no odd pieces. Yeah, we'll reveal it, and that'll be another sort of yeah, milestone accomplished.
Absolutely. And I think the best way for people to, and this is more than just a tagline, is that when we say, your gateway to the decentralized world, we really mean that. And as a way to it is that when you say is what is your gateway to the internet, and this is something that seems so easy now, it's something like a Google. That's your gateway. That's the first page that you land on that you say, okay, great. That's your gateway. Though all of the hard work's been done on the back end. They used web crawlers back in the day, and they've overcome a lot of hurdles to make it really easy for you. And not to really spill the beans too much, but that we draw inspiration from the people that have already done it correctly. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. That's already been kind of laid out. So it's almost in such a level of simplicity of when you guys see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, duh, of course. like we're just not so used to seeing it in this space that we think that it would really be impactful for next year. And the great part about it is we're going to help other tokens launch. But just like with Google, they don't need to ask permission to have, that be your best pathway to their website. It just is. And we hope to model that when it comes to this
They
entire
index
space.
it. Yeah, they
Exactly.
index it. They make it easy, for people to find you. And we're all about that. We're all about
Mm-hmm.
discovery. We're all about making it easy to communicate, and we're all about making it easy to support the projects that matter most to you. So yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
It's
And yeah, it's so just like when people are like, "How do you buy?" It's that simple. It's like you just press buy. How's this gonna work? It's just gonna be like you would expect it to be a gateway to the descent. Like just as simple as you can imagine it is exactly what we're trying to shoot for. And we're hope to see that make this complexity simple for you, and it'll really lead back into to what all other deliverables we're going to be offering. Another thing, just really quickly too, the show has been really fun. I'm happy to be on this podcast with you, Jason. I do consider you a friend. Kind of been feeling like your right hand man in this whole journey. We've seen a lot of ups and downs, and had to weed out some undesirables, but and then build a team of fantastic people. And Jason, I think it's been really great with you doing this show, and I can't wait to see what's in store for 2022.
Yeah, same, Rob. I mean, we definitely had some interesting conversation behind some curtains, and the great thing is that um, you say it often. Opportunity comes when when you're
Success is when
well
opportunity
prepared.
meets. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of thing that we've been doing is preparing. We've been
Mm-hmm.
preparing, um and surprisingly or not, depends how prepared you are, but
Mm-hmm.
considering we were well prepared, um it's not surprising. It's
Mm-hmm.
not surprising that things are going according to plan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm excited definitely for next year. We have an incredible team, we have an incredible community, and yeah, this is definitely just the beginning. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to the show too, is when we originally envisioned this show, is I mean, it's just happened to work out because we didn't want to have these project updates where these expectations were set so high you could never meet. So we wanted a way to deliver and feel the communities connected to us and know we're working on the project on a consistent basis. I get that bottle open to celebrate as we get to the end of our show for the year. But next year, you'll see obviously some updates and us, guiding you through. But we want to also, next year expect we're going to expand on this show. We want to raise the production value a little higher. We want to bring on guests and partners that we're working with in the background, whether that's CEOs of current companies or partners that we're working with in the background, to be able to have them as guests and discuss what's going on, and then also talk about what's actually happening in the space as a whole. So expect that to do on the show. Jason has his drink already ready. Jason, I salute you, sir. Absolutely, cheers to a wonderful year. It's really been what we're going to be doing next year. Do you think before we get out of here, we got a couple minutes left? Do you think we want to take two questions from the community? I think I can lay them up here for you. I think we can answer for them before we get out of here. And eggs on a celebratory note. I have one here from Neil. I'm not even going to say your name, sir, but Neil from YouTube. Neil from YouTube.
Neil BS. Neil BS.
Neil BS. I'm just going to summarize what he's asking is that, you know, when it comes to obviously when marketing, but he's really asking about market cap and what we can see to be able to make sure that we see an upward trend moving forward. Obviously, we're going to be having a full marketing lineup. We're going to be launching. We need to have a landing page and people to come to for that marketing. That's all going to be the beginning of the year. Staking is also something that we're going to be attracting a lot of people to be able to build in liquidity. And I think what people don't understand, and I'm glad I got back to this, is I think it kind of went over some people's heads, is that when we tell people that all of our products or services that are revenue generating, so whether that would be the buy button or whether it's services that we offer, that a portion of that percentage of that portion will go into liquidity. I don't think people understand how powerful that is, especially when if you're the centralized gateway where everyone's being able to buy into certain projects, they have their own widgets that they're using, and a fraction of every dollar, that every part of that revenue goes into liquidity, how much that'll affect market cap. I think it's kind of going over the community's head, because when I hear this, I'm elated and ecstatic that that's part of our business model.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to repeat what you just said. I mean, at the end of the day, we're you know, sometimes we hear, and you know, Andrew sometimes gets messages, and obviously we all get some, but you know, recently he was getting some messages about, you know, I think this project, you know, it's like a sleeping giant, and this is the case. You know, I mean, sleeping in the sense that we're not really dormant.
Yeah, we're under the radar.
We're just under,
no one has slept. No one in this whole project has slept in months, so no one's sleeping.
No, absolutely not. So, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to fathom, you know, when we look back, and it's hard to say that we're actually looking back, because it's all in the present right now, because it's so not far behind that you could almost put this in the present. But when we look back, it's been like a month, and the things that we've delivered are pretty insane. And looking at what's coming, it'll have, you know, what's interesting is that we're looking at mechanism that will affect the market without having to relying 100% on actual investors. So these mechanisms, when they're going to be put in place and once they're going to be distributed, not only the actual utility of them will affect the token, but also their sheer presence, just by being present, will have a byproduct effect of incredible organic. I mean, at the end of the day, who doesn't know PayPal? Why do people know PayPal? Because it's plastered everywhere. It's on everybody's website. Because the single, like, most important purpose of a website, generally speaking, is to convert them into consumers. And where it happens, it's in the checkout. And if in this checkout, where everybody funnels into, you have like a billboard that says, you know what, this is buy this project, what can you ask, you know, more? What more can you ask for? No, this is exactly what we're building. So every single person will know about Embr, because it's going to be where everybody converges. It's going to be like in the bottleneck. This is where you're going to see it.
And that's the actual literal definition of organic growth. I mean, everyone talks about it. It seems to be this fleeting idea of how do you make organic growth? How do you make this happen? Because like I said, I mentioned this previously in the podcast. It's a great a book by Malcolm Gladwell called Tipping Point, where it says, you know, when there's certain things that get to a certain point that they literally become a crescendo and snowball. And how do these things achieve that? And it's kind of this people in classes and in business class discuss it all the time. But by having something that's literally on every page everywhere right in front of your face, then that's organic growth at a literal definition. And of course,
Yeah.
when it comes to also marketing as well, the idea, we're obviously going to be doing some regular traditional marketing aspects also. Facebook has pretty much uh, is
Re-legalized.
yeah, re-legalized. I was going to say eased back some of their restrictions on how they can market. And also too, the great part is that because Embr is not just a token, that we have a lot of leeway on how we advertise. We're advertising fantastic services. We're advertising a webpage. We can advertise a podcast. We can advertise, our app that's going to be, this your gateway to a decentralized world, just like you see with something like crypto.com. And now we'll be able to do that as well. And because our revenue models all lead back into some form of our liquidity, I think it's a pretty a compelling adventure for 2022.
Yeah, and if I may add before we wrap this up, Rob, you asked me earlier, is there something I can say about 2022? Going back into just what you just said, expect an incredible ambassador program. And that ambassador program will be a mix between affiliates, referrals, and also individuals that feel that their community that they've built, they can leverage those community in the betterment of the DeFi space and the entrepreneurial mindset. So expect that. This is going
No,
to be massive.
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, it's also very exciting. I love it, man. It's great. We don't have time for everyone's question. As someone's asking about the metaverse, I hate that term, the metaverse, so we're not going to get in that. It's a total issue for 2022 that we'll be talking about. As I see, if you join us, I guess Facebook will be Meta next year. I'm not sure. Whole can of worms we can't open before the end of the year. But Jason, this has been a real pleasure. It's been fascinating. Do you have anything to say for a sign out before we get out of here?
No, that's all. Thanks for tuning in every single Thursday, and obviously, thanks for being part of our of the journey with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank the team too as well. Everyone part of the community success team. You guys have been fantastic. Everyone on the core team, all of you guys under development that are actually doing what I call real work, unlike us on the front lines. I'm sure you guys are those mathematicians and the Slate developers, everyone in the background to be able to make this possible. Everyone in our community, Discord, Telegram, you guys have been absolutely the reason we do this, and we cannot wait to drive this for you guys in 2022. For those of you that are listening to us on any of our podcast formats, whether that's Apple Podcasts, whether that is Spotify, or even on Amazon Music, you can always catch us live every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/join Embr. You can also catch us on YouTube. Make sure you like us on Facebook. You can catch us there as well. That's EMBR. I am Robb Vallozzi, your host, joined by co-host Jason Dominique. You guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year. Take
Happy
it
New
easy,
Year,
guys.
everyone.